What's up, y'all? LTJ Reads is here, and this is Throwing Light. And if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. I want to keep reminding y'all, please follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can catch all the interviews here for Throwing Light, and you can also catch the Throwing Light tour, which is going to be heavily promoted starting Christmas Day. As you know, I've been touring the state of Texas, and now we're getting ready to tour the nation. So please follow me there. And also, you're going to see a lot of new creative projects that I'm working on personally, movies, dances, things like that. So 2026 is going to be a fun year. So please make sure you subscribe to YouTube. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick into our interview. We have here Mr. Leather London 2025. Galen, welcome to Throwing Light. Galen, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. I am in South Texas. I just got done doing an event here, so it's warm. Oh, it's
Nice.
raining now. I just looked out. It's raining. That stinks. So yeah, what's up? Are you in London right now?
Yeah, I'm in London. And it's already evening, like the sun's gone down an hour ago, so it's
Is it
already
cold?
dark. Not terribly cold. It's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so
Okay, that's like winter for us, I guess you could say.
uh,
It's in the 40s in Austin, I think. But anyways, let's
uh,
stop talking about the weather. Let's
yeah,
talk about
yeah.
you.
Okay,
Galen,
yeah, sure.
so what's going on? Why don't you talk a little bit about how you got involved in the community and how what led you to becoming Mr. Leather London 2025?
Yeah, it all kind of started a few years ago. I actually got my first piece of leather about maybe 15 years ago
Hmm.
from ROB, and it was like a jock strap, and I just thought it was really cool and made me feel really sexy, I guess. But a couple of years ago, I went to Gran Canaria and I met Marcus Barella there, who was IML at the time, and he was just like super nice and like so approachable, and it kind of like I always had this kind of like feeling that the leather scene was intimidating or that there was like so much machoism about it. But he made me feel so comfortable and so relaxed about the whole idea. And he's the one that actually kind of encouraged me to kind of run for Mr. Leather London. So I went out and looked around for like a local leather club, which was the London Leathermen, and I joined them back in the end of 23. And yeah, it took me over a year to get established, to get into the scene and build up my wardrobe, feel a bit more confident about what I wanted to do. And then I decided to run for Mr. Leather London, and I won back in March.
Was that something like okay? So you went back in March, and but before that, before you decided to run, like what about the community attracted you to it?
I I like the idea of like being part of an inclusive group. At the time, I felt it was slightly inclusive. I went with friends and that kind of stuff, but yeah, it was a part of it. It was just a community I wanted to feel a part of. I'm kind of used to being pushed out or being ostracized from different groups, and I wanted to be part of a group that felt welcoming. And Marcus Barella is the one that did that. And then I had Nacho, who was Mr. Leather France at the time, as well as my Sash granddaddy, Tom Keller. So they're the ones that made me feel welcome into this group. So I was hesitant at first, but then I became part of it, and I felt I needed to be part of something inclusive. So that's how I originally got into it, I guess.
You named three people I love. Tom and Nacho, but Tom and Nacho are my brothers, and
Uh,
Marcus has been phenomenal. Marcus has been on this show three times, maybe.
oh
I don't
wow.
know. I love Marcus. Marcus is a great guy. It's interesting. I met him before I met him at Austin Geek Weekend before IML in 2023 before he won. And when
Mhm.
he came to Austin, I mean, he's always been like that. He's just a super nice guy. And Tom is a he gets around, and I love him to death. And he's a great representative. And I just think the world of Nacho. It was so great to get to see Nacho because Nacho's not in our group chat anymore. And I ran into him at Manchester Leather Weekend, and we had a great time. So it
Mm.
was really nice. And you named a lot of great people. Um, You said that you like being part of a conclusive group, and you said you always felt like you were left out. And I'm trying to
Yeah.
understand a little bit more of like what was the experience from that? What were you feeling left out of?
I mean, the biggest part of my life where I was really forced out was when I was in the military. So I was in the United States Air Force from '98 until 2001, and I was actually kicked out under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and that was very, very difficult and very rough for me. So, I mean, I, being forced out of that all, like, obviously, like, pushed me out of a community that I was really being a big part of, that I wanted to be a part of. And then I'm also a musician, so I play clarinet and flute, play for various bands and orchestras, and I have a big passion for video game music, and a lot of these bands and orchestras that just made fun of me for liking this kind of music, and so I never felt welcome in that. It was just being made fun of and kind of being called a geek or whatever. So I'm like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to set up my own video game orchestra. And I set up the London Video Game Orchestra. And it was a community. I brought together so many like passionate people, like passionate musicians who love video game music. And we performed at big venues, sold out these venues. And that started back in 2019 when I set that up. So yeah, we had about a 60-piece symphony orchestra with harp and guitars and just amazing choirs as well. So yeah, it's
And
just
you're
been
making video game music.
yeah. So we
What's a
play
video game that has inspired you?
a lot of it is like Final Fantasy and
Okay.
Zelda. So
Yeah.
like all the big Zelda scores and Final Fantasy scores. It's just amazing music to play, and it's just fantastic, and to get a huge thrill from it. It would be my dream to play at the Royal Albert Hall, for instance. I mean, that's going to be a one massive, massive venue. But we played at Cadogan Hall, which is also very well known here. With it holds about 900 people, and we played last year there and sold out. So it was amazing.
You got a lot to give me here to work with. So you say you play clarinet and what else?
Flute, and also
Do, do you feel that musical instruments are gendered sometimes for people? Because when I grew up, like playing the clarinet or playing the flute was kind of looked like as effeminate, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Do you ever confront those stereotypes or have to deal with what what you
yeah,
should be playing?
yeah, definitely. Especially when I was in high school. So I played clarinet in high school, and I was the only guy that played out of I think there was like 30 other girls. Like we were part of it was just one band, but it was for a large kind of high school in Michigan. So yeah, I always felt awkward being the only guy. Even after changing high schools, I was still the only guy, and I never played flute because I knew that would be I'd be bullied for it. It's kind of the same for like cheerleading. If I went for cheerleading,
Of course. Yeah.
so
No, I see you there. No, I wanted to be a cheerleader when I was in high school, and in all honesty, to be honest with you, motivation was actually being around the women and lifting them up, and
mm,
because I'm bisexual, and so but then the other part was like the enjoyment. I came out. I was growing up when Bring It On came out and stuff like.
yeah,
So, but I remember telling my mom, "Hey, I want to be true." And she was like, "No, what will everyone think about that or think about you?" And
mm,
that's what we were really living in. Um,
yeah,
you mentioned "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," and for a lot of people, if you're not aware of that, this was something that Bill Clinton signed into law in the '90s, where you could
yeah,
be in the military as long as you didn't discuss your sexuality.
correct.
I don't think people really understand how much progress was made. More so in the Obama years than anything. And it's sad to see a lot of that. We went from a no drama president to a drama filled president over
Mm.
here. And it's ridiculous the amount of drama that we have to deal with every day. Um, what part of Michigan did you grow up in or were you in?
Uh, so I lived in like Grand Rapids, Belding, and Greenville. Those were my main ones. But I mean, I lived all over. I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah. I grew up there for a while.
I was
So,
born in Farmington Hills outside of Detroit.
oh, right.
So
Okay.
I lived in Michigan until I was like 4.5. But I got to judge the Mr. Michigan competition in
Oh, nice.
2024, and I flew into Grand Rapids and went over there. So it was a nice thing. It was nice being in Michigan. It was very beautiful. And that I want to go back to music
Yeah.
and talk a little bit about that. Do you believe in music therapy?
Yeah. I mean, it helps. I mean, there's definitely, I guess it's genre based. Like video game music definitely makes me relaxed. It gets me to concentrate. It does help in that sense of therapy. There's some music that can be triggering, so I can't listen to some certain music. But yeah,
As
um,
a leather person, this is pretty unique, and so specific in a lot of ways. But you've been using these things to kind of build community around, right?
yeah.
In terms of like, doing the video game music and things like that, how large or how many people have you found that are really interested? Because we try to do gaming here in Austin,
Hmm.
at the Eagle and stuff like that. What is the largest amount? Like, how many people would you say? Like 90 people or something like that?
Well, the actual members of the orchestra we had up to 60.
Okay.
But we've also had like 50-piece choirs singing with us as well. So there's over
How
100 of
often do
us
you
on
guys
stage.
perform? How
Uh,
often do
three
you
three
go
times
ahead?
a year.
3 times a year.
Yeah.
Is it like a set time or?
Well, they've been kind of shifting around lately. We're doing a lot of performances in April because it kind of lines up with the Games Fest here in London. So they make a whole weekend out of it, and we tend to be like their kind of closing act. So that's what we did last year, and that's how we were able to sell out a 900 seat venue.
How diverse is the group that you're gathering?
We have very diverse. I would say it's more on the younger side though. We have had members who are about 70 years old, but yeah, it's very mixed between men and women. It's I would say very like LGBT as well. So there's a lot of people with different sexualities within the orchestra, as well as some trans members.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, and also a lot of neurodivergence. I mean, that kind of comes with the territory of being a video game geek. And
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. So now you feel you're a part of an inclusive group. How do you go about, making your groups that you have inclusive? Like, do you do a lot of outreach? Like, how easy was it to get the diverse group of people that you have now? Like, was there strategic marketing, or do you just go, "Hey, we're doing video game music. Whoever shows up, shows up."
yeah, are you specifically talking about the leather community or the video game community?
So, is not part of the leather community involved with the video game?
No, not at all. This was like so. This was before I joined the London
Got you.
Leathermen.
Cool.
So I can kind of wedge this into the London Leathermen,
Yeah,
and
do that. Like, I thought maybe
yeah,
this was
sure.
something that you were bringing into the leather community. So, sure, I would
All
love
right,
to hear
yeah.
that.
So that kind of experience really did help me with my platform as Mr. Leather London. I have a title project that I did for the year as for my title, and it was the Leatherbound Community Showcase. And the idea was to get to showcase and promote the hard work of creatives in our community, like artists, photographers, musicians, and performers on stage. And so, I mean, that took quite a while to produce, but it was like a very large. We had a big venue with a lot of stalls, kind of like a marketplace kind of thing, with a stage with performers performing every half an hour, and it was so amazing. We brought in the London Leather Dykes. We had Proteus UK there, so that's the trans community for for leather, and all three of us. I think it was like the first time that we were able to get all like three big groups together in the same venue without any type of like, I guess, segregation in that kind of sense. And it just felt like we were all finally one, like one big group, and it was wildly successful. And we're going to relaunch another one in September, in next September. So it was reaching out to all the various different artists and performers and different talent that we were able to get the community to come together like we've done. And the London Leathermen have also been doing a lot of outreach with the other two groups, with Trans Pride and London Pride, and came together for our leather care benefit last month, and that turned out to be amazing, and that was quite successful. So it's like we're finally able to be a big part of it, like a big family now. I didn't really see it before in the past. So I'm glad to see it really gelling up as it is now.
What led you? So you joined the Leatherman. When did you join the Leatherman? The
Uh,
London.
in in 2023.
And then, was that your introduction to leather?
I mean, I was introduced to leather about maybe 10, 15 years ago, but in private settings. So it was never kind of in public or part of a group. It was just pieces of leather here and there.
So, what made you want to run for a title?
I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to give recognition to the talent that we have in our community. It was mostly about, like, I know how it feels to be pushed out of communities and not being welcomed, and I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make newbies or people who felt uncomfortable or scared to be part of this leather community. I wanted them to be brought in and to feel comfortable and at home with us.
How was that in terms of, when you ran for the title, and how would you describe just kind of the environment of the London Leatherman? Do you guys do a lot of outreach? Do you have a lot of events that are trans inclusive, things like that?
Yeah, so my Sash Daddy, Stefan, he set up one-on-one cafe, which got people in our community, like even those that don't really go to the pub or to the bars and stuff like that, but brought them more to like a community center kind of thing where we got to know each other. And it's about knowing each other and getting to know about our struggles and our issues and that kind of stuff. And it's from that we were able to like really start pulling people in. But we also have other events we have our gear socials once a month. And that's always been open and stuff. So then, the Astrid from the London Leather Dykes, she set up the London Leather Dykes this year, and that was able to bring in more of the lesbian crowd into the leather community, and we've been working together ever since, really. So I guess like beforehand, it's been slow, but we have been building towards like a more openness. So it's not just so exclusive.
So when like how is your approach? Like what kind of is there a way that you market for that, or like because what we're finding a lot in our community is the need, like women and trans people want to see themselves on promotionals,
Hmm.
and you know what I'm saying, like that, and flyers
Yeah.
and things like that, and sometimes they feel like through marketing they're not included. So is
Mm.
marketing something that you guys are cognizant of when you're trying
Yeah.
to reach out to bring people in?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen that with the London Leathermen. I'm not part of the committee, so I don't really have much say in like marketing or what they've been doing. But a lot of the posters that we've had for London Leather Weekend and stuff that has included people from Proteus and from the London Leather Dykes. So we have, and that whole weekend was all in partnership with the other two groups as well. So it was like it felt like it was a weekend for all three groups in equilibrium, and that was just an amazing way that we've done it. A lot of it is word of mouth as well, and the community listening to each other. That's the biggest thing is we have to listen to each other. If we're not listening to each other, then it just builds up hubris amongst those that think that they know how to do it all, and that's not the way to go about it. So yeah, we have to listen to each other. We work with each other. That's the main thing.
Do you feel that people can be a little tone deaf on that sometimes? Because yeah,
Yeah.
like what is good listening to you?
Well, by by asking the right questions for one, and then listening and paying attention and doing something about it, not just like not just actively listening, just nodding and just like whatever. It's like you have to kind of act on that as well, or I don't know. A lot of it is also addressing it in like social media. You either through polls or whatnot, but responding to what they say and giving them visibility in that sense. Just raising awareness of their issues. It's not just us; it's everyone else that have the issues as well. So
Yeah. I think it's important because a lot of times, you know, I've seen people be like, well, they don't they kind of like ignore what is being told to them and just do things tunnel vision their way and try to act as like saviors. And it's offensive, I think, a lot when you act like you're like, I know what trans people need, and you are yourself not trans. So it's a little bit of arrogance that we face sometimes when people
definitely,
especially get titles, you know, they can get carried away, you know what I'm saying?
yep.
Let me see here. So let's see here. So, what is the impact that you have wanted to make as a leather person? Like, what is your ultimate when you know, step down? What are you hoping you would have accomplished through your title year?
Just giving people recognition and visibility in the community, and it's not just about them. I just want inclusivity. I mean, I know it's cliched, but inclusivity is number one priority for me, as well as being seen. There's a lot of people that are felt left unseen or hidden in the dark, and it's about bringing them to light and making them feel welcome. That's what I want to leave when I leave.
Do you feel
So
that there are any other groups besides trans people that feel like they're not being seen or heard, besides lesbians and trans people,
yeah.
non-binary? Like, was there any more like what group are we not discussing outside of that?
I mean, there's a lot of other kink fetish groups and stuff. I guess, like if you go with like rubber or with furries, for instance. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the leather community, but we are open to like other types of gear, I guess you could say, because we do have the gear socials. So there, we do mix rubber and that kind of stuff. But there are a lot of different kind of kinks and fetishes out there that we could recognize, and not sure what we can do about it as a leather community. But just knowing they exist and that they also have their issues is helpful.
I'm kind of my 2026 is really kind of focusing on bisexuals, trans people, non-binary, demisexual, all of that.
Hmm.
You know, I'm kind of in the works of starting a TB alliance, trans
Hmm.
bisexual,
Okay.
because those are the two letters I think that suffer that will be erased obviously first.
Hmm.
And so even though one is sexuality and one is gender, I find that there's a lot of like lots of chances for overlap between trans people and bisexual. You know, some are between gender, some are between sexuality. So that's something
Hmm.
I really wanted to push because I don't feel like we're really like really giving the bees any attention.
Yeah.
bi-erasure is a serious thing. And of course, we're over here in the US, and if we're taking steps back to just man and woman, then it's either straight and gay. This is my last question for you.
Yeah.
So, is there any aspect of the community that you feel that we are not shedding enough light on?
Uh, Definitely, we can shed a lot more light on the trans issues that we've got, not just here in the UK but around the world. All the issues of trans erasure and stuff, especially in the United States. It feels a bit, yeah, it's scary times, and we need to kind of raise awareness and of what the trans community go through, and yeah, that's the main one that we really need to be working with. That kind of
And
stuff.
your perspective, and listening is something we discussed, but on a global level, um, you feel trans people are under attack, correct?
Oh yeah, they're under constant attack.
How can we encourage people to have a sense of urgency?
Don't
It's tough.
Yeah. Apart from just like sharing what they go through, I don't know how else we can do it. Like it's just constant sharing and on social media and awareness. Telling our family, our friends and family, if they make any transphobic remarks, you correct them on it, or let them know politely that like they are people and that they exist, and that kind of stuff.
Like on the large, I think that we are the leather community, which is a microcosm of the greater LGBT community. And I feel like we actually are, we have these conversations more than the greater large scale. So obviously, we have a lot of people in the mainstream gay community that are not listening, that are
Yeah.
not, they are still saying, like, yeah, we don't care about trans people. We're dealing with that. And I think it's very, very difficult sometimes to navigate how we feel in the leather community and what we're really being represented as the greater LGBT community.
Mm.
So I think that as the leather community, we have to start figuring out some kind of inroads to mainstream gay culture and also mainstream culture in general to not be so like the less people know about us, the easier it is for us to be removed. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think we have to start, challenging our greater community to have these changes. Um, because if it's like it's like keeping knowledge and wisdom from people, and we've got to just kind of push it out.
Mm.
All right, Galen. Well, I appreciate you
Yeah.
being on the show. I'd love to have you again, of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much
I
more I have to talk about. So
Yeah, no, there's plenty. No. So the thing is that there will be something else. So
yeah.
my plan next year is to return to Manchester Leather Weekend. Maybe you might go, maybe I might see you. But I
Okay.
will be coming back to London. I did
Awesome.
have the opportunity of interviewing stuff in person at Compton. So next time I come, I'm coming to hang out and spend a little more
Okay.
time. I was like on the time crunch or whatever like that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Okay.
All right, Galen, there's one thing left for you to do. Are you
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah. Sure am.
Do it then.
If you're not throwing light, you're not acting light.
There you go. All right, this has been another episode of Throwing Light. Thank everybody that is watching this episode, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, Galen, so much for being on this
All right. Thanks.
episode. This has been another episode of Throwing Light, and we're out.